In facility planning, especially find out the right location, there are four approach. There are four methods in measuring the distance. For instance, the rectilinear distance, the straight line distance, the Chebyshev distance, and the actual distance. And if you use the rectilinear distance, it can be applied apply for a facility that has maybe a rigid or a very strict locations that should be placed into a certain role. Let's say I have this kind of layout in the factory, and then I want to measure the distance between this side to that side, which has the coordinate, which is 40 and 10, and the destination is 70.50. So this is the coordinate which represent x and y, 40, 10, and 70, 50. If we use a rectilinear distance, it means we use an absolute numbers. So neglect everything that will be produced in this addition will result a positive one. So let's say I want to know the length or the measurement, the length distance between this kind of, this kind of facility. So x, just do some subtraction, x between NA plus y subtract by its b. Okay, so use 40, just group the axis first. So this is belong to x, and this is for y and y. And then group it, 40 minus 70 plus 10 minus 50. So we have a coordinate which is x and y. So all additions, all the subtractions will result a positive ones since we use an absolute bracket in each additions. So 30 plus 40 is 70. So rectilinear means we use a very rigid aisle. Let's say we move to this and to this. Just count the step. It means 1, 2, 3. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 step or 70. So if we use the rectilinear distance, we might find the angles. Yeah, the angles. So it's just like a very rigid, a very English, English. We might find so many angles in every aisle that we go through. And then next, we have a straight line distance. So if we apply the straight line distance, it means you already applied the Pythagoras. The Pythagoras itself is find the Euclidean aisle or Euclidean lines. So we consider as a two different coordinate, we can use this Pythagoras formula. Just classify the x first, and don't forget to power by 2, and followed by its y-axis, follow the powered by 2, and square root the addition of this number. And exactly the number will be positive ones, and then we got 50. So 50 itself is just like the distance between this line. It's just like a straight line distance. We don't consider if this area has maybe a certain facility or maybe a space that already located. We just measure this line directly. So that's why the formula or the method itself is straight line distance. And then for Chebyshev distance, it means we using a maximum of x and y. And don't forget to classify the X and Y first, 40, 70, 10, and 50. So the maximum number of each serial will be 30 and 40. 30 and 40, finding the maximum one, which is 40. It means if you want to reach this side, we only consider the maximum traveling distance only. So the traveling distance, the longest path is 40. Instead of using this length of distance, which is 1, 2, 3. To 30 and 40, we use 40. So to measure the distance between these two sides, we only use 40 instead of 30. Okay, in Chebyshev distance, they use this kind of equations. And now for the actual distance, just following the aisle given. So the black one represents the aisle of every single facility. Just continue to measure the length of each line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 50. And then move to the upside. 1, 2, 20. 1, 2, 20. And then count the step. 1, 2, 2. So it's not 90, it is 110. So the actual distance is just like measuring the actual that we go through to the side. So that's the explanation of each method if you want to know the distance between a facility.